3 years ago, I was absolutely addicted to junk food. Like, I ate a bag of sweets pretty much every day. Like, it was that bad. Whereas now, 3 years later, whenever I have a craving, I can simply just say, no, turn my brain off, and then go and do some work instead. And I now only eat 4 ingredients. I don't just know what meals I eat, I know what ingredients I eat. Think about how powerful that is. And do you know what those 4 ingredients are? Meat, eggs, raw dairy or raw milk, and fruit. That is it. That is all I eat. You see, I was that little fiend of a kid where I went to Asda every single morning on the way to school, on the way to high school, and I'd take like a little bit of money with me, like I wasn't supposed to. I just like took it out of my wallet that I had like £5 in or something, pocket money or whatever. And I'd take £1 and I'd take it to Asda and I'd get some like Moam stripes or whatever, and I'd get like a sweet every single day or a bag of sweets. And I'm like, oh, my mum doesn't know about this. I'd eat them on the way to school. And sometimes I'd even go on the way back from school, get some sweets, and then there was no like bins or anything to dispose of these like wrappers or anything. So my mum would find out. So I'd have to eat them really quickly. And then and before I'd even left Asda, I had to put them in the bin there, right? Because there was no bins on the way home from Asda. So I was this little like goblin trying to get as many sweets as possible before I get back home. And then when I get back home, I'd normally have a bag of sweets there. Like my mum would normally go to the shop and buy me a bag of sweets, whatever it may be, and I'd have one like every single day. I was addicted. Like, I'm not joking, addicted. But I always wanted to get jacked. I always wanted to get big biceps. I always wanted to be athletic, etc., etc. And I knew that this was an issue. Like, if I ever wanted to get huge, if I ever wanted to get chiseled abs or whatever, then I couldn't be consuming all this crap, essentially, right? So when I did finally start to join the gym, I realized how difficult that addiction was to break. Like, if you had some quality streets or these celebrations or something, like Christmas time, my dad had always put like these quality streets or celebrations on the table like this. And because they're there, I would have no willpower, right? I just go, okay, I'll just have one. Okay, I'll have another. Right, just one more. Okay, one more. Well, I've got to have this before I have my tea. Okay, it's pudding now, so I can have that after my tea, yeah. And I just like help myself keep going. And then whenever I went to the shop or something, I'd have no willpower, and I'd just be able to, I'd just like buy a cookie or buy a bag of crisps or like some fizzy drink or something. And then if my mate offered me a sweet or my granny offered me like a chocolate biscuit or something, there's no way I'd turn that down and just go on then, and just take one. You may not understand this yet, but bad foods have an unbelievably bad consequence on your body. And I'm not just talking about how big you can get, because of course you can still eat McDonald's every single day and look jacked. It's not just about how you look, it's your inside, your gut, how your mitochondria works, the powerhouse of the cell, if you learned that in science. But mitochondria could basically control your energy levels and everything like that. And if you're eating like sugar that elevates your insulin, then your insulin blocks things like leptin, so you never feel full or satiated. And because your mitochondria are damaged because they go through a process called autophagy, because they can't go through that autophagy process, then they can't function as well, they can't recycle themselves, so your energy can't work as it's supposed to. You can't transport energy to different parts of your cells. So essentially, when you eat bad food, everything messes up. I just said that little science lesson just to give you a point of how detailed this goes, right? By the way, I've got a full course on my school community linked below where you can get access to all the information that I know, all the knowledge about all this nutrition, all the details, all the science, everything that you need to know about nutrition. So click the link below if you're interested. It's not just if you eat bad food, you won't get a six-pack. No, it goes way, way deeper than that. So this is like unbelievably important to get right. So if you follow the diet that I'm on right now, I don't expect you to, that's completely fine, because there's no way I would have done that when I started. But if you just cut out the bad food just to begin with, just all this bad stuff, right? Inherently what's bad. You know that like chocolates and sweets, regardless, are bad, and that's probably why you clicked on this video. So if you can just cut out those foods, then that's like a gateway through the door to get to the point where I'm at, where I'm actually eating like whole food, single ingredient foods, right? So figure out what your favorite sweet is, or chocolate, or biscuit, or fizzy drink, or something. If it was put in front of you, there was like no chance you could say no to it, right? For me, this was squashies. So these little drumstick squashy sweets things. I could eat infinite amounts of these, right? I could like never stop eating it. It's just on and on and on, keep going, keep going, keep going. Sometimes when I'd play like Call of Duty late at night, I'd eat like a bag of these, and then we've got like some for tomorrow, and then I eat like another bag. Or like I couldn't wait. I just had to eat them all. And once you've figured that out, then this is your actionable step. This is my computer. This is literally what I'm looking at right now. This is the screen I'm looking at, and this is below my computer. In fact, look, here are the exact same like headphone things, right? So this is just in front of my computer, and this is where I would sit every day to play like Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War, something like that, right? Now I obviously do work instead, but for you, maybe you do play Cold War, or you don't play Cold War, you play Fortnite or something like that. Wherever you know you will spend the most amount of time. Perhaps you don't go on you're not upstairs very much. Perhaps you play Xbox downstairs on the TV or something. Maybe on the sofa that you sit on, or the chair you sit on. That's where you could put these sweets. This is the actionable step. Get that bag of sweets or whatever is most tempting to you, and put it bang smack where you can see it, and leave it there. Just leave it. I had this bag of squashies, my favourite sweet, in front of me every single time I went to do anything. Every single time I went to play a game, every single time I did homework, whatever it may be, I spent a lot of time up here on my computer. They were there. They were looking at me. They were staring me in the eyes. You know how long I left them there? 2 years. Every single day, I had to look at these sweets and remind myself, no. Don't eat them sweets. For 2 years straight. So next time I went to the shop and I saw a bag of squashies, what do you think came into my head? Was it, oh yeah, I'll go for one of them? Or was it the same thing that I'd been reminded of thousands of times? No. Whenever my friend had a bag of Skittles or something and he offered me them, because I'd already said no so many times, my initial thought that popped into my head was no. Whenever my granny had offered me a chocolate biscuit, I'd just go, no, I'm alright. You know the interesting thing? After a while, I didn't even notice them. After maybe a month or two, it does take a while. Remember how difficult this habit is to break. You remember being this little, maybe you are this little kid right here, right? This little kid who can't contain his emotions just because he likes a nice flavour on his tongue. This is difficult to break. But this is what worked for me. Because after a couple of months, it didn't become like this difficult task, just looking and resisting it. No, I'm not going to, no. It just became a part of my room. It became this water bottle. It became the computer. It became this mouse mat. It became that computer there, right? Because I'd seen it so many times, I didn't even think about it. So when I went to the shop and someone offered me sweets or something, or if I went to an event and they had like fizzy cola or something, like Coca-Cola or something, like free, you can have Coca-Cola, yeah, just have a biscuit. I didn't even think about it. My automatic response was just no. How powerful is that? Imagine walking into a room with layers of biscuits on the table, and you've got like bourbons, you've got custard creams, you've got all these really nice biscuits, you've got like fizzy orange, like Fanta or something like that, and it looks really good, and your automatic response in your brain is no. And then you look the other way and just do whatever you were going to do anyway. How insane is that? So actionable step right now, don't delay this, don't go do something else. Go and get whatever your favourite sweet is, or if you're going, or go to the shop and buy it, right? Actually buy the sweets, because willpower is what you need to train. Because a lot of people just say, like loads of people who are trying to lose weight, they say, oh yeah, just get rid of all the biscuits, get rid of all the sweets and everything, get it out your house so you can't see it. But then you're constantly thinking about it. You're constantly thinking, I want it. Because it's not in your house, you can't say no to it. right? So when you go out of your house and you get that opportunity, you get that offer, then you have no willpower. You haven't trained it. It's like a XP level thing, right? You know, you got to level it up. You've got to level up your willpower, so that when you get an opportunity, when an opportunity arises for you to actually say no to it, you haven't trained it at all. You're on like level 0. You're still against like the level 1, the level 1 crook or something. What in those mobile video games, right? You want to be like the level 100 mafia boss. You want to be the person who just doesn't even think about it. He's like, no. Whereas the person who has never come into contact with this difficult situation, right, where they have to look at it and say no, 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 they haven't trained their willpower at all. So they just go, go on then, because they haven't trained it at all. So it's a skill that you need to level up. So that is your actionable step right now. Actionable step number 1 that you can take to do that. So do that right now and then come back. Don't like finish this video and say, oh, what else is it going to say? No, go and do it right now. Put it in front of your computer or wherever. Maybe just hold it in your hand whilst you're watching this video, and then we'll move on. And your second actionable step is sort of in contrast to what you were doing here. So whereas you were saying no to the bad things, educate yourself on the good things. So this really, really helped with me. When I was just like trying to resist the bad habits or whatever, I found it quite difficult. But when I consumed a ton of content about good things, then naturally that's all that was in my brain. This guy called Paul Saladino, he's basically on the same diet as me, like the meat-based diet. And he's always showing like, he's always talking about how bad seed oils are, and this new study that says how bad, you know, it like, they're like bleached and stuff, but in the process, and they're actually like motor oil lubricant and stuff like that. You know, all these bad things, and he's talking about how bad these foods are, and then he tells you how good the good foods are, right? And it reinforces that mindset that you've got. So say you're on the diet, which I'm on right now, where I'm eating meat, eggs, raw dairy, and fruit. And you're constantly being reminded how good that is, and you're constantly being reminded how bad everything else is that you're not eating. It's just like a positive feedback loop in your mind, and you're like, oh yeah, mate, I'm so good at this. I'm doing really well here. Yeah, I feel amazing right now. Like, look at the muscle I've packed on recently. Like, I'm not even joking. I've got super lean, but my strength has gone up. All my muscle, mate, it's insane on this diet. When you start eating correctly, it's absolutely phenomenal. But if you're constantly being reminded of how how good you are, right? That's essentially what these people do. Then you're more likely to stick to it. Because I know if I go out somewhere, then there's just zero chance that I'm going to break my diet. Just absolutely zero chance, right? Because I've thought of this so many times. And because foods like meat are unbelievably satiating, I don't even need to eat. I eat my breakfast and lunch together, which is half a kilo of beef, half a kilo of minced beef, and 6 eggs, and half a litre of raw milk and some fruit. That is I only have about 2 meals in a day. And because in the morning, most people have to try and fast, you know, like, well, if you do, some people try and fast and they're like, oh yeah, I won't eat for the first 4 hours of the day or something, and you know, they're dead hungry and stuff. I don't get hungry until lunchtime. So it's easy for me. Do you get, when you start doing these things, when you say no to the bad habits, when you reinforce the good habits, everything becomes easy. You might think, how is this guy so disciplined, going to the gym every single day? I've done it for 3 years straight. I don't find it difficult. I don't find it challenging. You just have to put the reps in. You have to put the reps in to say no to this bad stuff. You have to put the reps in by stop watching Mr. Beast content and watch educational content, reinforcing the good values inside you. There's levels to this game, and most people are on level 1. So choose to be on rank 34. Try and be prestige master, right? And also some other people who have helped me is Hamza. He hasn't helped me much with diet, but he talks about how like brain fog and everything in terms of being an entrepreneur, which I currently am. I'm trying to build my business, obviously. School community link below. So he's taught me how carbs and things like that are, especially starchy carbs, are terrible for brain fog. Like, I find I don't really get much brain fog anymore because I don't eat bad food, right? When you eat bad food, like even oats are terrible. They give me crazy brain fog. I can't focus, you know, I'm like thinking, oh, what was I going to say? Like, all the words aren't flowing out my mouth when I make these videos. I can't think, oh, what was this called? Actionable step number, which one? Oh, I can't remember. Like, I'm just so foggy in the mind, but when I eat correctly, then I don't have that clearly. So, and then also Dr. Anthony Chaffee, he talked about the carnivore diet and essentially the benefit of eating meat and cutting everything else out. So he has kind of different beliefs to Paul Saladino, because Paul Saladino includes fruit, but my mum won't let me go carnivore, which is fair enough. So for now, I'm eating fruit, and he goes into the real scientific detail, right? So if you want like the real science, then go to Dr. Anthony Chaffee. But these three people I watch consistently, and they tell me, and they reinforce the ideas, the values that I want to believe in, right? So those are your 2 actionable steps. Go do them right now. Don't put them off. You don't have to watch these people if you don't want to, but those are just the people I would recommend for diet. They are just amazing. And again, if you want even more help, then I can create like a custom meal plan for you, catered to what level you are on. So perhaps you are just trying to cut out the bad foods like we're talking about in this video, or maybe you're just trying to cut out the bad foods that we've talked about in this video, or maybe you're a step further, maybe you're trying to improve to go to the diet that I'm on, or maybe you even go to the carnivore diet, etc., etc. Depending on what level you are on, I can help you create a custom plan that fits your macros, micros, everything, right? And we'll do that in a one-to-one strategy session, so you can have a 30-45 minute call with me where we can go over everything to get you to your goals. You get custom workout presets and everything that you literally just download. And as I said before, we've got like a full course on nutrition mastery there, and we've got plenty of bonuses that are lovely, just juicy extras. And if you've got any more questions, then you can ask the private community within the school group, where they will answer your questions with based knowledge. So if you're interested in that, then click the first link in the description. I will see you over there. Click first link in the description. Good night.